You can't say no. You can't set standards. You can't set boundaries. You won't be in charge of your relationship, and she won't be attracted to you. It will fail. Your boundaries and standards. All right. So so your frame is there. Part of your frame too is your boundaries and your standards. Don't allow her to emasculate you. If you have to have boundaries, have standards in your relationship, and you have to be more, those boundaries and standards are more important than her feelings. Your boundaries, your standards are more important than her feelings. Okay. It's also more important than the relationship, to be honest, because there is no relationship that you're going to want without boundaries and standards. There is no frame without boundaries and standards. She only emasculates you because you allow it. And women can be very, though, manipulative in how they do it. They're very tricky, and they force you into these scenarios. This is why your game has to be good, so you're not in that scenario. But at the end of the day, even if your game sucks, if you can just have the ability to say no and put your foot down, it'll get you through a lot. Okay. So that is another main component. She's going to have times in the relationship, especially in a monogamous relationship, where she thinks she's your fucking equal and she doesn't see your mate value. And because you've picked her up to that level. So she is going to have uncertainty, and she is going to test. And when she tests, your boundaries and your standards are what causes you to pass and handle those tests. Having a confidence in yourself, also in your abilities to have those boundaries and standards and have frame, is what's going to keep your emotions in check too as a man. Then the last thing is dread. And I'm just going to say dread, and simply not the dread that most people think, okay? But just you have a willingness to walk fearlessly without her. You need that as a leader in your relationship. I'm not saying you threaten the relationship. I'm not saying you don't want to be with her. I'm not saying you are all constantly leveraging, whatever, but your willingness to walk away if she is going to continually, cross boundaries, continually not meet standards, continually be arrogant, continually to leverage sex. You need to be able to walk away, fucking period. So here's the tweet. And I quoted Pearl from Just Pearly Things on her tweet because it was right. She asked a question from your personal experience. What percentage of married friends are in a sexless marriage? It says, please only answer if you're 35 and over. And it was overwhelmingly, but this is actual data with real research and studies. Twitter research isn't usually real. Okay. Just FYI, but it's good. It gives you it gives you a picture, you know what I mean? But even when they do real controlled studies with doing the statistical trials and stuff the right way, it overwhelmingly shows, especially over the age of 35, there's so many people in sexless marriages. It's so high. Once there was a caveman named Grok who had eyes for the lovely Neela. Neela was the most beautiful cave woman in the tribe, with her sparkling eyes, infectious laughter, and fat booty. But Grok wasn't the only one smitten by her. All the Chads and Tyrones of the land wanted her too. He tried different ways to attract her, showing off his prowess with a spear, doing favors, bringing gifts, and even serenading her under the moonlit sky. But Neela never seemed to return his affections. She was always kind to Grok, but Grok was only 5'10", and Neela only had eyes for the 6-foot-tall Chads, or so he thought. Determined more than ever, Grok decided to do a pickup artist boot camp in a faraway land. He built up his confidence and learned how to talk to hundreds of cave Stacys, even winning the affection of a few. But when Grok came home to use his newfound skills on Neela, he could sense that same disinterest in her eyes. He could get average Stacys to want to bear his children, but could not win over Neela, or any cave woman as beautiful as she. The pickup artistes told Grok it's a numbers game,
and that he had to sleep with thousands of drunk Stacys to get a beauty like Neela. Confused, Grok went to the secret societies of different color pills for advice, but all they could offer were different chants of, just next her bro, and she only bangs chads, over and over again. If only I could learn real seduction skills to make Neela fall in love with me, Grok thought. Neela went on to live happily ever after, having babies with a man named Og. Og had secretly learned sexpionage skills. Og was 5'5". The problem with pickup courses today is that they rely on the numbers game. You talk to hundreds of girls and finally a chick wants to sleep with you. And usually these aren't the women of your dreams. Sexpionage is my new course that will train you how to actually seduce the women that you want. Not just get dates with women who you aren't that excited about. You will learn deep persuasion skills borrowed from the elite corners of the espionage world that will train you how to persuade anyone and how to seduce anyone, from the woman you just met to your wife or girlfriend. Enrollment opens April 22nd and closes on the 26th. Click the link and don't miss this opportunity. It's the only one you'll get this year.
Yeah, my tweet that got almost 155,000 views and over 200 some thousand reposts was, I said data shows consistently it's between 20 and 25%, with prevalence going up with age and time. So 20 to 25%. So anywhere between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 marriages are sexless, meaning they're only having sex once a month or less than that. So then my next thing is men need to have a strict policy. Or get out. I don't care if you have a toddler. I don't care if you're 25 years in a relationship. If you aren't fucking, there's no medical reasons involved in this, then you aren't in a relationship. Empathetic women will cry and act like abused children when you express this view. Screw them. These same women will turn right around and cheat on you or divorce you and bang another dude on the way out when they've had every excuse not to with you. They gave you every excuse not to have sex. On the way out the door, 75% of these divorces, right, initiated by women, they're banging somebody else or banging someone else before that ink is dry on that divorce paperwork. All right. Not every situation, but most. And the only way you stop this is by letting her know that you will under no circumstance accept being emasculated into a sexless slave. Don't leave it up to her. This is up to you as a man to set the standard. She needs to know 100% that in due time, you will leave her or change the terms of the relationship to fuck other women if she stops wanting to be intimate with you. Period. Men, if you're in a relationship and you're not having sex at a reasonable frequency and level, it's just you're not having good sex in your relationship, it's slavery. Slavery for you. Fuck or leave. It's that or slavery. I can't be more clear on this. That was my tweet. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of women agreed and a lot of women disagreed. But it's true. You can't accept that for yourself. 20 to 25% of you in marriages are accepting that. It's probably higher than that even for just if we start to include just long-term cohabitating relationships. That's the sexless. That's outright sexless. The most of you, the rest of the 75%, I would say probably 70%, as men, you've accepted a low frequency, low vibration, low happiness, low intensity sexual relationship with your partner. You've accepted that after a certain period of time. And that is going to be most of you listening to this. If you are accepting that, you're accepting slavery as a man. That's it. And if you want to be a man slave, and labor and work hard and cry about it. I mean, because you're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. Okay. If you want to create your own prison to go live in your own prison. I will tell you this, though, that woman of yours that you think wouldn't fuck you over will. I know guys who were married 30 plus years in their retirement. And the old lady goes, I can get all the awards and prizes, get half his shit, keep the house. I don't have kids anymore. I can drink a box of wine every night and never have to work again off of his money and never have to have sex with him, never have to talk to him, nothing. Yeah, I'll do that divorce at 65. I know guys who were working. They had to go back to work, all right, in the DOD world and in private sector, had to go back to work because they married some woman, took care of her, and she took the shit and left. And I guarantee there is a sexless or low sex, low vibration relationship going on for a long time before that happened. One that she created and he allowed. These guys are, unfortunately, without realizing it, became slaves to these women. You guys, it's up to you. Okay. If you don't have the courage to get off the plantation or to get out of the prison, whatever analogy you want to look at, get out of the prison you've created for yourself. If you don't have the courage to do that, you're not going to have the happy life you want. All right. When I say fuck or get out, I don't mean you're just putting ultimatums down. I gave an entire presentation. All right. You're refusing and not accepting that paradigm as a man. Eventually it may mean she does get out. You're using your frame. You're not allowing emasculation. You're picking the right girl. Okay. And you're doing a lot of things to make it right. Because if you don't actively do it and make the hard choice to say, hey, no, we're not doing that right now. Oh, you have a grocery list of needs right now? Well, I'm working. I'll get to you when I'm in a couple hours. Whatever. You can't say no. You can't set standards. You can't set boundaries. You won't be in charge of your relationship, and she won't be attracted to you. It will fail, and you will be in a prison that you've created for yourself.